So this is Quintorius combo. The combo works like this. You've got Quintorius in your deck, which is a 5-mana walker that has a -3 ability that lets you discover 4, so you cascade into a 4-value creature or any spell. And then what will happen is you will always cascade into one of these clones that can clone Quintorius. Quintorius also has a static ability that says whenever you cast a spell from exile, he deals 2 damage to each opponent and you gain 2 life. So the spark doubles can come in as non-legendary Quintoriuses, or the clever impersonator can just be another Quintorius that you legend rule as the new one. You will trigger the Quintorius, and if you have multiple Quintoriuses in play because one of them was spark doubled, you will get multiple triggers. And this chain will allow you to always just keep hitting Quintoriuses and drain your opponent out. On top of Quintorius, you also have Trumpeting Carnosaur. The Trumpeting Carnosaur discovers 5, and that means you will always either discover into Quintorius, which will then allow you to chain the combo, or you will discover into, again, one of these clones, which will then clone the Carnosaur, allowing you to discover 5 again, and eventually you will find a Quintorius and you will drain out your opponent. And if somehow you hit like all the clones first and then hit Quintorius, amazingly, you then just have a gigantic board full of 7/6 Trampler. Additionally, so obviously we have to make some concessions like any Cascade deck in order to play cheaper spells that we can cast earlier that are technically not any mana value that is 4 or less, because we always want to hit these. So we've got Greater Tanuki, which we can channel for 3, and Beanstalk Giant, which we can adventure for 3, both of which will find another land. So if we get to our 3rd land, we just get one of these spells, and we jump immediately to land number 4. Then on turn 5, we play our 5th land, and we can cast Quintorius. There's also other versions of the deck that don't bother with these green creatures, and they instead use the hybrid discard spells from Strixhaven that generate treasures. Either way is fine. And then in this version of the deck, we've got Leyline Binding to interact with all of our various land domain types. We've got also Virtue of Persistence that can -3, and we've got Colossal Sky Turtle that can potentially bounce stuff. Additionally, we've got Herd Migration, which, while it doesn't ramp, does allow us to always make sure that we go and grab another land on turn 2, and it gains life so we can potentially survive against aggro decks. And that is basically the main board of the Quintorius deck. The lands are just a whole hodgepodge mix of various domain color lands, so we can always get to what we're needing to get to. And then the sideboard, you're going to see it's a whole bunch of 4-ofs and 2 Elder Gargaroths. So our deck obviously allows us to play Karuga, which may come up once in a blue moon, so we may as well run that. And then additionally, we've got these Doom Scars, which are sweepers that we can foretell on turn 2 and then cast on turn 3 for the foretell cost to destroy all creatures. We want this against aggro. Then there's Thought Distortion, which exiles all of the non-land, non-creature spells from our opponent's hand and graveyard, and it cannot be countered. So this is for the control decks. Basically, any blue decks that might have counter spells that we need to get Quintorius through. So you just cast Thought Distortion instead, get rid of all the cards in their hand, and then just cast Quintorius the next turn. Quake Bringer, which is used to beat Amalia. So we can foretell it on turn 2, and then on turn 4, cast it for the foretell cost. Your opponents can't gain life. Other abilities, not that relevant. Mainly, this is just to stop the Amalia combo, because technically it depends on the order that we hit spark doubles with Quintorius, but Amalia can gain enough life that our Quintoriuses don't actually kill them. So Quake Bringers. And then we've got Elder Gargaroth just as more like generically good card versus aggro / just generically good card versus highly interactive decks. And then another thing to note is that all of our like cheaper stuff also pays off later. So the Trumpeting Carnosaurs are also able to be channeled to do 3 damage, but then later on in the game, our big 7/6 Tramplers that start the combo chain. The Greater Tanukis and Beanstalk Giants, while you're usually just grabbing a land off of them, if the game goes long enough, you can just start playing them as giant threats. Same thing with Colossal Sky Turtle. You can use it to get cards back from your graveyard, or just start casting them as huge 6/5 flyers. And the same goes for like Herd Migration. Later in the game, it just starts making 3/3s. And Virtue of Persistence later in the game starts reanimating stuff. So if you go super late and either the combo was disrupted, maybe they cast like Cranial Extraction effects and took all the Quintoriuses out of your deck, you can still win by just playing a bunch of huge bombs. And yeah, that is Quintorius. So let's jump into a league with it. What other decks do you have for other formats? We have one more deck today, and it will be a modern deck that you have probably never seen before. So for those not in the know, Quintorius also has another name. It's called Autopilot. It's pretty descriptive of what the deck does. So, you could refer to it as that as well. All right, round 1, we're on the draw. Reveal Karuga. All right, we've got only 2 lands, but we've got Herd Migration to find more. And we're obviously missing Quintorius, but we do have one piece of interaction in Leyline Binding. We're also playing against another Karuga deck. So I'm going to keep this. So let's keep Temple of Abandon. All right, well, let's just play Zagoth tapped and pass the turn. Mountain, and they pass back to us. All right, well, let's just play a Plains and pass back to them. So this will allow us to have both Herd Migration and Leyline Binding up. Bone Crusher? No, they're on the... Okay, so they're Quintorius and they're on the treasure version. So we're going to be at Cavern of Souls. Naming Dinosaur. Yeah, so they're 100% Quintorius. All right, channel this. Let's grab a island, I guess, is the only... No, I have mountain here. Yeah, okay, well, let's grab an island. Doesn't really matter. All right, so mountain, and now we've got both Leyline and Herd up. So let's just pass back to them. I assume we're about to get Quintorius, and I'm going to have to bind something. I think the good thing is that if they're on this version, it means they probably don't have Leyline Binding of their own. Discard, make another treasure. What do these things do on the front side? Deal 5 divided, look at the top 5, put 1 in the hand, rest on the bottom. Cavern of Souls. The chosen creature type is Demon. Puts Karuga in their hand. All right, well, it's Herd Migration. Let's go grab, I don't know. Does it matter? A swamp, I don't know. Oh, I guess it does matter for Carnosaur, so I should have grabbed red. I mean, I guess I can put Karuga in my hand here, but then I'm overextended, so let's just play a tapped shock land. Or no, let's just play an untapped land so that we can cycle while still having Leyline Binding up. All right, play that. Back to them. WotC saw Karn players bogging down Pioneer with long combo turns and said, we can fix this by bringing in an autopilot deck that combo wins in 20 seconds online and in person. All right, so we're both going to play a game of chicken right now. Nobody's doing anything. All right, end of turn, cycle and Dotha. Okay, untap. Well, let's put Karuga in our hand, I guess, because I'm not doing anything else. So Karuga goes to my hand, and then let's play a tapped Temple Garden. And over to them, and then we have to discard. I'll discard one of these Overgrown Tombs. So the Jeskai versions are also often on Torrential Gear Hulk as another threat that they can flash in and get back these treasure spells for the full value. Another Cavern of Souls, naming Demon again. What is in their deck that's a demon? All right, there's Quintorius. I could cast it and then try to do stuff with it and still have Leyline Binding up, which seems fine. So, I mean, let's man, like the odds that they just don't have something here is like... That's not going to be the case, right? I guess I don't have to discover, right? I could just make a 3-2. So the fact that this is their lands implies to me that their interaction is burn-based, so I could just plus Quintorius. Yeah, let's do that. So cast Quintorius. All right, plus. All right, now we've got a threat in play. This is 5 loyalty, so they probably can't burn it out, question mark. Or if they can, they probably have to spend 2 spells doing it. All right, end step. 8 mana, or 7 mana. Magma Opus. Tap down this thing and kill our guy. Yeah. And now they can just untap and combo. Although they don't have... No, they have the mana for Quintorius. All right. Yeah, they got us. So Quintorius, and then we lose the game, right? Oh, no, they're going to... Well, okay, they're playing a dinosaur, but then the dinosaur makes us lose. A bunch of cards entered the revealed zone. Clever Impersonator, copy the Carnosaur. Wait, oh no, copy our Quintorius, and then win the game. All right, anything I should know? They have Garuda in their deck? Wow. Okay. Let's just... see the rest of their deck, I guess. All right, so they're main decking Gear Hulk, and they have multiple Garudas. Garuda's only evens, right? So it gets back Carnosaur and Gear Hulk. All right, sideboarding. So Thought Distortion's a little worse against them because they have Gear Hulks, but it still has to be correct to bring these in, right? What is bad? Virtual Persistence seems pretty bad. Doesn't actually do anything? Yeah. Is there any reason I would want to bring in Elder Gargaroth? I don't think so. All right, we're on the play for game 2. So I think they have the edge in this match because they've got Gear Hulk and Magma Opus. Well, this is unkeepable, so mull this. Well, I'm not going to 5, so we're going to keep this hand and put back, I'm going to say Swamp. All right, so play Jetmir and over to them. So Rafine's Tower and over to them. There's just like no way you can ever be the first to act in this matchup, right? But if you do nothing, then eventually they're going to just go over the top with Magma Opus and Gear Hulk and whatnot. All right, let's just put Karuga in our hand. Yeah, Amalia looked pretty good this RC. Don't know if ban-worthy. I think it's on power level. It's probably not ban-worthy. It's like just another good deck in the format, but the play patterns of it are terrible. And it fundamentally warps the format around it. All right, I guess I'm just cycling these lands at this point. So let's just play a tapped Temple Garden. All right, over to them. You know, when people are main decking Containment Priest and rampaging Ferocidon, I'd say there's a problem. All right, end step, cycle Zeatoras. Oh, there's Thought Distortion, so we can afford to wait for now. So let's play this tapped and pass it back to them. Shefet Monitor. Wow. All right, tap land, scrying, puts it on top. Man, the problem in this matchup is like, even if I Thought Distortion them, they can just untap, rip the card off the top and win. Or also, it doesn't get rid of Trumpeting Carnosaur, so that also just is a problem. So I probably can't cast Thought Distortion until I have another mana open. All right, let's discard Sky Turtle to get the land back, then play the land, and then pass. And then next turn, we can go Thought Distortion, hold Binding open. All right, let's try to win here. So Shockin', Overgrown Tomb, cast Thought Distortion. Their hand is double Quintorius and then a bunch of creatures. All right, well, over to them. So if they try to play out Carnosaur now, we can Binding it and then untap and win the game. Does this hit Planeswalkers? It does. So we still can't Quintorius with this in their hand. Name's Demon. All right, they are actually going for it here. Sure. They drew Quintorius off the top of their deck. Jesus. And they still have enough mana to use the Carnosaur. All right, Quintorius hits the field. This is just ridiculous. Discover 4. What do you cascade into? Spark Double. Yeah, so now we have to respond with Leyline Binding. So they still have the freaking Carnosaur mana up, but if I don't quint now, then they just untap and win, right? That's the problem. I don't have any more interaction, so I have to bluff as though I do have interaction. So, yeah, Jesus. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I guess let's just cast Karuga to draw a card. So Karuga here, 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 and here. So trigger Karuga, draw a card. It's Herd Migration. All right, so we're just going to pass. And if they just cast Carnosaur, then we're dead. I guess I could have Quintorius and then forced them to use the Carnosaur, but they could still potentially just win off of any of this other stuff. All right, they're casting Clever, and what? They're going to copy Karuga or what? Or Leyline Binding? Leyline Binding to... Oh, no, they're going to bind our Binding. Yeah, and now we're dead. So there was no out. There was no way I could win that. Yep. I Thought Distortioned them and exiled 2 Quintoriuses out of their hand, and they top decked a 3rd Quintorius. Okay. I want to know, do I have a Voodoo Curse? Am I Thoughtseize bugged in real life? All right, round 2, we're on the play. Reveal Karuga. All right, we got Quintorius in our hand. We got Ramp. Good enough. So play Zeatoras and go. All right, Lotus Field it is. Who is going to be faster? Grazer. Well, Grazer might be faster. Puts another Sanctum into play. Oh, we're missing white mana, but I can grab it off of Tanuki. Or this. All right, well, my mana doesn't matter, so, like, let's just shock this in and pass to them. Or my life total doesn't matter, rather. Sylvan Scrying. Because of that Grazer, I might be 1 turn too slow. Thespian Stage, Lotus Field, All right, discard this. Let's go grab white mana. Let's play white mana, then back to them. So it's not impossible that they win this turn, but it is difficult. There's the Thespian Stage, and it looks like they're going to pass. All right, so channel the Tanuki. All right, well, they're just tapping out for stage, so that's fine. All right, grab another land. All right, well, they're tapped out, and we're going to play Quintorius, so that's the game. Land, Quintorius, -3, discover, Battle Lamp, grab this dude, always yield to this ability. This comes in, copy Quintorius, Legend Rule here, -3, grab Spark Double. Spark Double comes in, copies Quintorius, -3, Spark Double again. Double triggers, the Spark Double resolves, copies this guy, -3, Spark Double, triple triggers, Spark Double enters the battlefield, copy this, -3, cast Spark Double, triggers, they lose. All right, sideboarding. Thought Distortion in, Virtue of Persistence out. Extremely difficult sideboarding. All right, reveal Karuga. We have Binding, Greater Tanuki, so we got Ramp, we got Quintorius, we're keeping. Opponent plays a tap land. We play a tap land. Man, riveting magic here, eh? 2 rounds of combo decks that don't give a crap about what the other deck is doing. Sylvan Scrying's for Lotus Field. That's fine. All right, play Ndatha. Pass the turn. Lotus Field. Float some mana. Discontinuity. Really? Discontinuity, you say? All right, well, guess I'm just passing. Hypothetically, this Leyline Binding could be useful if I can snag an Omniscience or something with it, so... This is what Richard Garfield wanted. Seems that way. Impulse, yeah, that resolves. Plays a tapped Botanical. All All right, end of turn, Tanuki, channel. Let's go grab an island, because that's the only land we're missing. I mean, if they don't have the answer here, then we do just win. So I'd say we go for it. Quintorius. All right, appears they have an answer. Mystical Dispute. All right, fine. Back to them. I mean, our only point of interaction is Leyline Binding, and trying to snag either Omniscience or Chandra seems like a long shot. All right, Dark Petition, and then we're going to lose, right? Probably. Unless all they're doing is grabbing Thespian Stage. Pour over the pages. For the YouTube audience, we're just going to jump ahead here and see if we lost. All right, so double Emergent, we lose the game. Let's move on to match game 3. Sideboard remains exactly the same. Run it back. All right, we're on the plate. We have 2 lands, but we can find another land with Herd Migration, and then we've got Beanstalk into Quintorius. All right, sure, keep. Assuming we draw a land in the first 4 turns, then it's fine. All right, play Zagoth and pass. Botanical Sanctum, back to us. All right, I mean, I guess whether I do Herd or this, I guess I'm missing red mana potentially. So it's better to cast the Triumph, or play the Triumph rather. Because I'm still getting the land off the Beanstalk next turn, so if I don't draw any more lands after this point, it's better to just have this going. Otawara. All right, shock this in, play Beanstalk. Does this resolve? Opponent impulses in response, sure. I'm actually still missing my other land. Kind of nuts. All right, let's go find a mountain. That comes in untapped? Huh. Sylvan Scrying, Otawara. Wait, they found Otawara. All right, well, we need to draw an untapped land to win here. If we don't, then, yeah, that's unfortunate. All right, well, Herd Migration. These are already double black. This is double white. This is a single red, so let's just go grab another red. Play that. And then we can't do anything, so over to them. They probably can't win here. Yeah, all right. So if we draw another land, I'm going to Thought Distort instead of playing Quintorius. If we don't, I'm just playing Quintorius. I tap land, you say. All right, it doesn't matter. I'm playing Quintorius this turn basically no matter what. So, and then if this doesn't work out, then we just play Rafine's Tower anyway, and then Carnosaur or Thought Distortion next turn. Counters it? Sure. At least that keeps them from Thespian Staging this turn. So play this land, over to them. Another Thespian Stage. Pour over the pages. Ditches, Sylvan Scrying. All right, they don't have it. So let's cast Thought Distortion. Copies the Lotus Field. All right, we kill everything in their hand except Otawara, and now it's back to them. All right, they just drew another stage, so we win now. Well, actually, I guess we don't win because they have Otawara in their hand, right? So we go Trumpeting, Discover. I guess it depends. All right, cast Trumpeting. So if we hit a clone, they can just bounce it back to our hand, but then we just get to do it again next turn. So Discover. All right, it's a clone. We're casting the clone. They're bouncing Carnosaur in response. So Carnosaur, then Spark Double, can't enter as anything. So it will just die. They make another Lotus Field. And we have 2 of the other clones in our hand already, so it's a bit awkward. They drew Chandra. All right. What'd they exile? Discontinuity, Leer, Vizier, Discontinuity, Impulse. So they're casting Impulse, and they get to double Impulse with Chandra in play. Yeah, of course they found it. Hidden Strings into the spell, right? Pour over the pages. All right, they have 2 cards in their hand. Vizier. Remember, Karn was the problem, guys. I'm going to keep reminding everyone of this. So 2 cards, 8 mana. Oh, hey, look, they found Dark Petition. Very cool. All right, 6 mana, 2 cards in hand. Pour over the pages. Discards Boseiju. Plays another land. Tapped. All right, did they actually brick? All right, they actually bricked. So if I Leyline Binding this, they might just not be able to win. Silence? Are you kidding? All right, well, I guess I'm going to respond to that with Leyline Binding. All right, Leyline Binding. Get out of here, Chandra. Eat Chandra. All right, double Silence. I really can't cast spells. Drew Quintorius. All right. This comes in tapped, right? So, I mean, I guess I can put Karuga in my hand, but it's better just to channel Tanuki. Actually, is that even better? Because they might have a second Chandra in their deck that I can... No, I'll never have the opportunity to deal 3 to kill it, so that doesn't matter, right? So, and Leer is 4 toughness, so there's nothing that this kills. So, I may as well just channel this now, so I can F6 through their turn. All right, so channel this. Let's go grab, I don't know. Does it matter? An island. And then we'll pass to them. All right, they are untapping with 2 cards and nothing in play other than a bunch of mana. You've got to be kidding. The last card in their hands Boseiju. You got to be kidding. All right, grab a land. Now they get another draw and then another 5 card looks with Chandra, which also doubles. Exiling. Oh, there's Emergent, and they get double Emergent. Oh, they exiled Omniscience, though. And they also exiled Lear. All right, double Emergent. Cool. Very cool. All right, what are they getting? I mean, they can't do the infinite loop because they don't have Omniscience anymore. So they're getting Dark Petition, Sylvan Scrying, and Impulse. All right, put Dark Petition back in their deck, I guess. Impulse. So then Sylvan Scrying finds another Beseiju. Then the second Emergent. Impulse, Dark Petition, Hidden Strings. Well, they have like 10 million mana anyway, so let's just get rid of Dark Petition. Actually, can they even cast? No, they get to cast everything for free, right? Yeah, so we put Dark Petition back. All right, Hidden Strings, untap some stuff. Impulse, plays a Lair of the Hydra, which can't attack us this turn, so that's fine. Copies a Lotus Field. So their hand is Beseiju and 2 unknown cards, although they are playing Discontinuity in their deck, so they could discount us on our upkeep and then untap and make Hydra a 12 power or more creature, which is still not enough to kill us, although then Chandra can -6, which is also not enough to kill us. All right, upkeep. They're not stopping us. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 mana, so I can Quintorius and then have what? Channel open, but that doesn't matter. So I've lost 1 Quintorius already, and I've also lost 1 of my clones, and 2 of my clones are in my hand. I could technically clone their Chandra and then shoot it to death. No, I can't. It's at 1 loyalty more than what I can copy with Clever Impersonator. So I'm 1 mana short of being able to do 2 things this turn. All right. I guess I just have to hope Quintorius is good enough. Is Quintorius even good enough? They're at 20, and I've already lost 3 clones out of my deck. So what's the math on this? Even if I hit... So I'd have to hit like both the Spark Doubles immediately. Wait, so I only have 3 clones left, right? So even in best case scenario, I hit Spark Double number 1, that's 2 life. Spark Double number 2, that's 4 life, so that's 6 damage. And then Clever Impersonator is 12. That actually doesn't kill them. So the best move I can do here is actually Clever Impersonator, copy Chandra, burn it, and then channel Carnosaur to kill the Chandra off. I think that's the move, because I don't kill them this turn. So Clever plus channel, kill Chandra. All right, let's do that. Clever Impersonator, copy Chandra. Then we're going to -4. So target Chandra, and it's to each of 2 targets, right? Yeah, so target them, and then we're going to deal 4. And then we'll stop on their upkeep and channel Carnosaur to shoot the rest of it. So let's play Xander's Lounge, I guess. All right, channel this, shoot that. Okay, Chandra's dead. Thespian Stage. Make Lair a 7/7. Attack us, but not Chandra. All right. And then they're leaving enough mana open to Discontinuity, which I guess is what they have, right? No, they don't. All right, so exile the top 5 cards of our deck. We have found this stuff. It's until end of turn, right? Until the end of your next turn. You may cast an instant or sorcery. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 mana, so I can cast this and then nothing else. Seems fine to me. All right, play this tapped, cast Herd Migration, copy with Chandra. Oh, now they're going to discount? Why not just do it the moment that I plus Chandra? Or before I draw even. Island. Do they have it? So they have enough to make Lair lethal now, right? 12, 13, 14, 15. Yeah, so they have exactly enough to make it lethal. Well, this is one of the stupidest games I've ever played. Yeah. All right, we're on the draw for round 3. We have 3 lands, Herd Migration, and Quintorius. I'm good. Opponent reveals Gigantha. All right, keep that. Copperline Gorge, so it's probably vehicles. Yeah, there's an elf. All right, play Indatha. Over to them. The fact that all 3 of our lands are tapped lands is probably going to be a problem. Well, I guess if they're not playing anything. They kept 1 land, elf, nothing else. All right, play this. Over to them. All right, there's the Stormseeker. Still no untapped land, so this gets to flip. All right, play this. Over to them. Sentinel of the Nameless City gets pumped, so we're taking 8 damage here, and we still don't have the win next turn. And both creatures are bigger than what we can shoot with Carnosaur. All right, Herd Migration. Am I missing any colors? I'm not, right? Oh, I don't have blue, so let's grab Island. These can't copy opposing things, so they're not even useful right now. All right, on the off chance that we can kill something, I guess I just hold open Carnosaur, right? So back to them. 3 mana for Voldarin Thrillseeker, which we can't respond to because they're just going to put it on something huge, right? Where are they putting... Oh, they're putting it on itself? All right, so we're going to kill that then. I don't know why you wouldn't just target one of these other big creatures. Yeah, I mean, literally, they could have just put it on either one of these guys, and then I would have been dead. So we're going to 2, and then we're winning. Although we have 2 Spark Doubles in our hand, that's pretty rough. All right, we take 8, we go to 2, play Island, play Quintorius. At least I think we win. Maybe we don't, because 2 Spark Doubles are already in our hand. All right, Spark Double, always yield to this. Yeah, all right, so they're just conceding there. We might not have actually won. I would have to do the math on it, but we were missing clones. All right, so Doomscar's in. Elder Gargaroth probably in. So the problem is what to take out here. I guess Colossal Sky Turtle is probably the worst of our interaction. And we can't cut any of our ramp, and we can't cut the Carnosaurs. And the Virtues of Persistence, I mean, they kill some things. Like, they do kill elves. They do kill Reckless Stormseeker before it flips. So okay, so let's see. These cards right here are untouchable. This is the combo. You can't cut that. And you can't cut ramp. You can't cut the ramp. So that's untouchable as well. And we're bringing in interaction. So we're not touching Leyline Binding. So then the only question is, like, are these bad? Because they kill some things, but they don't kill other things. So maybe like 2 of these, and maybe we don't need the second Gargaroth. All right, let's try that. So reveal Karuga. All right, well, yeah, I guess I keep this. Land Elf, play a tapped Overgrown Tomb. And then we'll go Plains, Herd Migrate for Mountain. 3 mana, Huntsman's Redemption, Ooh, I can foretell this? All right, foretell this. We're doing that instead. Foretell, go ahead. So depending on what creature they get, we can cast this next turn and just blow the field up, which buys us time. They're sacking their elf and grabbing Voldaren Thrillseeker. All right, definitely seems worth blowing the field up. Chariot, definitely seems like worth blowing the field up. All right, shock this in, cast this. Destroy all creatures. All right, so Huntsman's trigger doesn't go off unless they want to animate Mutavault in their upkeep. So they are animating Mutavault so that it gets pumped. All right, that seems like a waste of mana to me. All right, so they attack with Mutavault. We go to 11, and then they're just not playing anything. All right, so if I Herd Migration for the Mountain, then I can play Leyline Binding, but I can only play 1 Leyline Binding regardless. But basically, all right, let's just play Rafines and pass. So over to them. I think it's better to have this open, to have both of them open. Because if they don't put too much pressure on us, I can just cycle this, grab a Mountain, play Gargaroth next turn. Stormseeker. All right, I probably am killing that. So it's targeting itself. I don't know. They're only doing 3 here. I guess, like, what's the odds they have a way to get Gargaroth off the table? Let's just make sure we don't take damage when we don't need to. Binding, kill that. All right. So I should get these bindings online. So let's discard. Actually, this comes in untapped, right? No, it doesn't matter. So discard the Herd Migration, paying this one and this one. So we gain some life, grab the Mountain, play the Mountain, and then I can Beanstalk, get a Plains, and still have Binding open. That seems good. Oh, I don't have another Plains in my deck. Well, 'tis foolish on my part. What do I need next turn? Green, green, thing, hold green open. I guess it doesn't matter which one I grab. We don't have double red for the Carnosaur, so let's grab the other red. All right, over to them. I mean, all they did last turn was play Stormseeker, so I don't think we're in too much trouble. Voldaren Thrillseeker puts it on itself. I guess they could, what, animate Mutavault, animate Chariot, attack us for 4 here. Plays Soken's on, animates the Mutavault. No, they're just going to attack with Mutavault. All right, we're at 12. Let's cast Gargaroth. So green, green, this one, and this one. Play tap land. Over to them. A Crowan War. Gain control for as long as a Crowan War remains on the battlefield. All right, so I can Leyline Binding the War and then get this back. Yep, all right. Elder Gargaroth is stolen. Animate the Chariot. Oh, should have done that in response. Yep, did not fully think that one through. How much damage is this? 6, 9, and then I die to the Thrillseeker, so I have to target Chariot, I guess. Wait, they animated the wrong Mutavault. All right, well, this is 10 damage. I guess I lose to Bone Crusher if they have that. All right, I'll take the 7. All right, we're at 5. Oh wait, no, they can't because they need to pay 1 here. All right, Leyline Binding. Let's steal a Crowan War, or exile a Crowan War. Okay, so I need to gain life. So how much mana do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I can't shock in this and play this in the same turn unless I... Yeah, okay, so go to combat, attack with Gargaroth, and then we're going to gain 3. All right, we're at 8. If I just cast this Beanstalk, I think I'm fine. So cast this. I don't think I need to shock in a Temple Garden here. I think it's fine. So play that tapped, go. All right, they play land. They are playing Sentinel. Maps the Thrillseeker, revealing an elf, which they're almost certainly going to bin. Yep. So 4 power, but they still can't actually get in for lethal. Another Beanstalk. All right, let's go to combat. They have to block, so let's attack, trigger the Gargaroth. Which mode do I want? It's probably better to just make a draw card, and then I can play Beanstalk and have Leyline Binding open. Yeah, all right, draw a card. We drew Quintorius, so that's good. I guess they can technically kill it with this thing, but it doesn't matter. Animates Immutavault. So I can bind this, then play Quintorius, then win. Animates the Chariot. So are they going to double block Gargaroth to kill it off? Yeah, that's fine. All right, go to damage. So then bind this dude. So they shoot us, we go to 4, this fizzles, and then we play Quintorius. All right, Quint. Play Quintorius, discover. All right, on to round number 4. We are on the play for round 4. Reveal Karuga. All right, this hand is bad, like really bad. It's got 2 Spark Doubles in it. It doesn't even have the green mana for Herd, so let's mull this. All right, this hand is fine. Let's keep and let's put away. Like, I don't know what I'm playing against, so if it's a Thoughtseize deck, I want both these Quintoriuses in my hand. But if it's an aggro deck, I don't want them both in my hand. I would rather have the Virtue. All right, I do have Leyline Binding to interact, so let's put Virtue away. Just in case it's a Thoughtseize deck. So play this tapped. Over to the opponent. All right, it's Phoenix. Makes me very happy that I put Virtue away. So, I mean, let's just play the Stomping Ground tap. All right, over to them. Opponent considers. Doesn't bin it. Island. No actions from them. All right. I'm just going to put Karuga in my hand, so let's play Island. Get Karuga. Free the Fae, milling this over. I guess they would probably want to pick Spell Pierce, right? If they don't, because if they just don't have an answer to Quintorius, yeah, they picked Spell Pierce. All right, time to go really long and play around Spell Pierce. Plays Shredder, plays Sleight of Hand, triggering the Shredder. We're definitely binding this. They discarded a land. Another binding, you say. All right, play this tapped, binding. So eat the Shredder, plays a land, does nothing. All right, back to us. I guess I'm just playing a land and doing nothing. Although I could just play Karuga and draw a card. That seems fine. I'm probably not going to use this binding for a while. Yeah, let's just play Karuga. All right, play Karuga. Trigger. They're going to respond by Otawaring Leyline Binding back to my hand. All right, so Shredder has returned, and now they've got Cruise mana, free the Fae, milling an Arclight Phoenix. Then they get to take the Cruise. They still have to hold up Spell Pierce, though, because if they don't, I just drop Quint and they lose. Treasure Cruise, draw a bunch, connive trigger. They discarded Spell Pierce. Are they trying to bait me into casting Quintorius because they have the second Spell Pierce in their hand? Casts Consider before Treasure Cruise resolves for some reason. All right. Then Cruise resolves. Phoenix comes back. All right. So they're attacking with both. That's fine. I'm going to bind the Shredder and then play Spark Double, copying Karuga and draw 2 cards. Oh, I can actually double bind and then draw 3 cards. All right. So Leyline Binding, bind Shredder. Then cast the other binding. There's absolutely no way they're spell piercing this. So yeah, take the Phoenix. I guess they could have Lightning Axe for Karuga. They're going to kill their own Phoenix in response. All right. Well, that fizzles. So shock this in. Cast Spark Double. Then copy Karuga. Draw 3 cards. All right. Attack with this Karuga. Sleight of Hand. Plays another land. Galvanic Iteration. So if they trespass here, they can eat everything but Phoenix, and then they get another 2 turns. Lightning Axe. Oh, they're just going to kill both of them and then res 2 Phoenixes. Yeah, that's fine. So Lightning Axe, kill our guys, sure. Treasure Cruise. They're still holding up Spell Pierce mana, but I can actually pay for it next turn. And neither Fiery Impulse nor Lightning Axe can target Planeswalkers. So we're at 7. All right, shock this in. Cast Quint. All right, so we win game 1. And then, so it is a little awkward because obviously we want Thought Distortion in this matchup, but they have some of the Phoenix decks. In fact, they usually have Thought Distortion, or they usually have Narset's Reversal. So playing the Thought Distortions is actually somewhat of a risk. Elder Gargoth's probably also really good in this match, right? Like, it doesn't die to Lightning Axe, it blocks all their guys. So let's bring that in. Virtue Persistence seems really bad. It only kills Ledger Shredder pre-Connive. And then the turtles are just not great. So let's get rid of those. All right, let's do that. All right, land, but they're both Overgrown Tombs. So I can Herd Migration into like white mana and then try to Beanstalk Giant. This doesn't seem great. I mean, I guess it has like consistent finding more lands though. And double Leyline Binding. I'll keep it. Spire Bluff. Well, we drew Temple Garden, so I guess let's play that. And pass. Opponent opt. Sleight of hand. Steam vents tapped. Okay, so let's shock this in and back to them. Hall of Storm Giants. All right, end of turn. Channel this. Let's go grab an island. Play this. Let's cast Fertile Footsteps. If they counter this, that's fine. All right, they are countering this. I guess I should have grabbed a mountain and not an island. Oh well. Land number 4. Tapping for Shredder. All right, so Xander's Lounge is red, and we do all the same things. So let's play this. And then I guess I stop on their upkeep. I don't know. That seems fine, I guess. Yeah, let's stop on their upkeep and try to bind it. All right, upkeep, Leyline Binding. Target the Shredder. The Shredder is exiled. Land number 5. Seems like they're really just not like getting anything going here. I don't know. Maybe they're just holding tons of counter spells. There's Thought Distortion. So let's just try to jam Elder Gargaroth into play. So shock, play Elder Gargaroth. I believe most of their spells don't hit creatures, or most of their counter spells rather don't hit creatures. Well, Stroke is one of the counter spells that hits creatures, so oh well. We were never getting it through that anyway. Sleight of hand. Ledger Shredder. All right, I can cast Thought Distortion. If they have Reversal, it's not even that bad because they just take Binding. So let's shock and let's just Thought Distortion them. Their hand is a bunch of removal. All right, goodbye hand and graveyard. So no treasure cruising, no more spells. And then we can presumably just win on our turn with Carnosaur. Why did they bring in Rending Volley? All right, cast Carnosaur. Trigger. All right, yeah, so they're just conceding to that. And now on to the final round. But really, their hand was Axe, Rending Volley, and Spike Field Hazard. So Axe only kills Tanuki and nothing else. And the other 2 removal spells kill nothing. So really confused why they would leave that in. All right, here we go. Round number 5, we're on the draw. Reveal Karuga. All right, we have some lands in interaction, but like we need to find more lands. We're against a Giganta deck. All right, I mean, I'll keep. How many lands are in this deck? 25 plus Herd Migrations. All right, I'll keep. Hive of the Eye Tyrant. So probably Rakdos Sack. All right, let's play Jet Mirrors. Over to them. Seer Step Pathway into Blood Tithe. All right, let's shock an Overgrown Tomb because we're going to Virtue that. And then this is a sorcery, so Locktwain Scorn. So kill the Blood Tithe. Land number 3 plays Inti. All right, we need to deal with that. We need to deal with it now so that they don't Blood Token till your next end step. So they are going to Blood Token immediately, but I guess they get to do it regardless on the end step. So let's just play Zagoth Triome, and then let's go to the end step. Blood, Inti trigger. What are they exiling? I just want to make sure it's not another Inti. I guess I don't have to get rid of it now, right? They're exiling Kroxa. All right, well, that's fine. And they discarded Kroxa. What am I ditching from my hand? Probably just Spark Double. All right, combat, let's get rid of it. So, Leyline Binding. Eat your Inti before you get to attack. Second main, Kroxa from exile. Get rid of Spark Double. Actually, you know what? Maybe not, because I'm going to put Karuga in my hand. Nah, I should get rid of Spark Double. All right, ditch Spark Double. They're not doing anything else. All right, play this tapped and get Karuga. Over to them. So we just straight up win next turn with Quintorius, unless they have some kind of answer. All right, well, they have Thoughtseize, so they obviously have to take Quint, and then we'll untap and play Karuga and draw a card, and try to just get to the 6th land for Carnosaur. I guess they don't have to take Quint if they have Bitter Triumph, but like they probably just should, right? Yeah, all right, there goes Quint. Plays a Blood Tithe. All right, yeah, so there's a land. So play Karuga. We drew another Binding, and then it's back to them. Inti. Attacks with the Blood Tithe, triggering Inti. Yeah, that's fine. They discarded Fatal Push, and they're exiling a land. Yeah, I'll block. That's fine. So trade with Blood Tithe. I mean, they know we have Carnosaur. They don't know that we have the other land, but like it's assumed that we're going to find it at some point. So play this. Play Carnosaur. Opponent stomps us. I'm not really sure what the point of that is, but okay. Grab Spark Double. Then resolve Spark Double. Become a copy of Carnosaur. Trigger Discover. Cast Clever Impersonator. Impersonate the Carnosaur. And trigger again. Grab Quint. All right, cast Quint. Then Discover. Cast the Spark Double. Trigger the Quint trigger. Then Spark Double enters as Quint. Then we Discover again. Grabbing Clever Impersonator. If Clever Impersonator copies the Spark Double, is it also non-legendary? Copied this. It is. All right. Discover, Spark Double, cast, triggers. Yeah, all right. They could have actually stomped Quint with the Discover trigger on the stack to prevent maybe the kill here. So there was just no reason to shoot us with that. Anyway, this match, I guess, is just Doomscar / Elder Gargaroth. And then, but all the virtues are still actually good here. Okay, so the turtles aren't. And the next worst card is probably the Herd Migrations, although I don't know that I can actually cut all of these. So, I don't know. I just need to survive the early turns, right? Yeah, let's just get rid of the herds and run this stuff. All right, submit. We've got removal, we've got ramp, we've got our payoff. Seems good to me. The only thing we're missing is red mana, but we can find it with Tanuki. Hive, no play. All right, cast or play Indatha and pass. So any creature that they play here other than Copter, I guess we can kill. And there's Copter. Well, since we're not doing anything, let's just play Zagoth tapped. Back to them. All right, there's Inti, and now they get double triggers off of Inti plus the Copter. But let's see, they only have one land this turn that they haven't played. Discarding Graveyard Trespasser becomes a 4/4, gets a land in exile. Then the Copter loot puts Bone Crusher. Oh, they have Thoughtseize too. Blackland Thoughtseize. All right. What are they taking here? Probably the Carnosaur, right? It's our payoff. It's the payoff in our hand, although we don't have any red mana. Or maybe they just take Tanuki to prevent us from ramping. But I'm just going to kill Inti this turn. They took one of the virtues. All right. So that probably means they have another creature to follow. Ooh, Leyline Binding. We don't have red, though. All right. So Virtue, kill this dude. And then we'll play a tapped land and back to them. And then next turn, we can go Tanuki, find the red source with Binding open to bind the Copter. So cruise the Copter, attack with the 4/4 Copter. We go to 14. What are they looting? Discards a land. Okay. Another land, plays Damping Sphere. Yeah, that's fine. All right, so land. I guess I don't have to do any of this right now, right? I channel this and cast Leyline Binding. So let's just pass back to them. Yeah, let's just pass back to them. Damping Sphere really is not an effective tool against this deck. Yes, technically it stops you from chaining all the spells together to win, but it doesn't prevent you from just dropping huge bombs into play. Discards a Copter off the blood token, plays a tap land. They're just going to go straight into combat without activating the Copter. All right. Well, I kind of have to hit this, so let's channel the Tanuki. Like, I can't just keep taking damage, so let's grab a mountain, and then let's Leyline Binding. So we're missing a red source for the Carnosaur. So eat that. So there's an argument to take the Copter instead and then channel onto the Blood Tithe if necessary, but I just want to save damage here. All right, there's the red source. So shock this in and then cast the Carnosaur. Yes, we don't actually get to cast the thing we discover into, but that's fine. We still have a gigantic Carnosaur. And then if they don't kill it next turn, we can just spark double it. Yeah, and then I'm not allowed to cast this. So back to them. It comes into our hand anyway. I can also just cast Virtue. When does this trigger? At the beginning of your upkeep. Reanimate. So their hand's Gigantha and one card I don't know about. All right, there's Gigantha. They should probably just crew an attack with this, right? Like, they don't have good blocks, so they may as well just keep hitting us and try to kill us. I can actually Clever Impersonate the Binding and just bind the Copter. They discarded a land. Actually, I don't have double blue, so I can't cast Clever Impersonator. Never mind. So, blue, this one, and this one. I guess I can also cast Virtue, but then I'm just taking another 4 hit off the Copter. And then there's nothing even that great to reanimate, right? Yeah, all right. Play Spark Double. Copy this dude. Trigger. Cast the Spark Double. Pay 1. And now we can't keep going because of Damping Sphere, but we can still make a bunch of these guys. All right, so I cannot cast this because... Oh, I could have played this land first, but I don't want to cast Doomscar, so we're just not going to do that. Play a land. Go to combat. Attack with this 7/6 Trampler. And then we have 2 other 7/6 Tramplers in play, and we're only taking... What can they do? They can crew Copter and animate Hive, and then I can double block Hive, so that doesn't work. I guess I could have foretold this. All right, Copter, attack, can't block it. We have 21 Trample in play for next turn. All right, they discarded a land. We can't block. We go to 4. Unless their hand is literally like double Bone Crusher Giant, I think we're fine. So let's go to combat. They've got 1 block with the Hive. So attack with these dudes. They could have what? A removal spell to kill one of them. And then, like, I can't see how they don't die here. Double removal spell to kill both the Carnosaurs. But if they had another removal spell in their hand, surely they would have cast it last turn. Yeah, all right, there we go. So 3 and 2 with Quintorius. I think that this deck represents the pinnacle of how bad Magic can get. It's a deck that although it does have some amount of interaction, for the most part, it's a combo deck that's just trying to go over the top of the opponent and not care what they're doing. The interaction is basically only to the extent of not dying to aggro before they get to the combo. And then the combo is just one card win the game. And one of the things is that the deck isn't actually that good. Like, it's good enough to be a deck that you can run and win with, but it's not good enough to be in the top tier, like the tier 1 decks. So it winds up being this deck that is like middling and is not even that great for the people that are piloting it. It also has a combo fail rate. So it's not as though when you're playing against it, oh, my opponent cast Quintorius, I don't have any responses, I guess I'll just scoop here. Because there is a possibility that they may have drawn some of their clones, and therefore they can't actually win the game with Quintorius. So you do have to make them play it out every single time. So it's not even a matter of, oh, I assembled my Exarch and Twin, you lose now. You actually have to wait for them to go through all the motions. As far as the deck goes, so the Gear Hulk, like straight Jeskai version, feels like it is probably better against control decks and the Mirror, where it has a bit more play in terms of being able to like flash in Gear Hulk, or sometimes being able to cast Magma Opus to tap down opponent's lands. This version has more like early game, just straight up removal for things. So probably this version's better against aggro. I'm not exactly sure what the differences are between the two versions. This also probably doesn't need to be this straightforward of a sideboard. Like Thought Distortions, okay, makes sense. Control decks, decks with counter spells. Doomscar, okay, makes sense. Aggro decks that you need to blow up. Do we really need 4 Quakebringers in the sideboard just for the Amalia matchup? Like, maybe, but this could probably use a bit more tweaking. I don't know about the lands. I guess they felt fine. In a deck that's so many different colors, you're bound to have times when you don't have like the second red source for the Carnosaur or whatever. The only card that I feel is like actually not very good is the Sky Turtle. It's just a bounce spell, and I feel like there's gotta be a better card that we could run in that slot, but I'm not actually sure what that could be. And we're only running 6 ramp spells, so maybe you want more ramp spells. I don't know. I would need to play this a lot more. Overall, I would give the deck like a B. Like, it's a tier 2 deck. You can win. Again, you can win with it, but it has a fail rate. It does very poorly against counter spells. There are also some cards that can deal with Quintorius, like Torch the Tower. There's some removal spells that can hit it. But yeah, that is Quintorius combo.